Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Parlay Revival. We have another action-packed week for you as we are in the remote islands of Indonesia and our water maker pump failed and we do not have a spare.
The closest one that we could find is this guy here, but it says for diesel only.
It would be an absolute disaster to not have fresh water with 6 crew on board, so we get busy trying to jury rig something together as our tanks are already almost empty. We then set sail on a 1,000-mile journey, and not one but 3 things break out at sea while bashing our way upwind in extremely squally weather. Hope you enjoy.
So I'm Colin, and this is the crew of Parlay Revival. From hurricane damaged to broken bulkheads, from getting struck by lightning not once but twice, to being the strongest and fastest Lagoon 450 on the planet. We've already sailed 40,000 miles to get here, and nothing is going to stop us from circumnavigating the globe. So subscribe to follow our journey around this beautiful planet. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the things you did. So what are you waiting for?
So remember how we left you in last week's episode with my 40th birthday bash? Well, I definitely didn't hold back on celebrations that night. And when we went to make water the next morning, I was thrilled to find that the boost pump for the water maker had failed. And we don't have a spare, so I had to get my last couple brain cells firing to figure out a solution. If you don't know how a water maker works, it basically takes water from the ocean and a little boost pump feeds a high pressure pump which pressurizes the salt water through membranes, and the product is fresh water which fills our tanks. This process is called reverse osmosis.
Okay, so our water maker boost pump just stopped running. This guy just burnt out for some reason, and we don't have a spare one. We've got a few pumps on board, but the closest one that we can find is this guy here, but it says for diesel only. It's a diesel transfer pump, not for water. It says right on the front of it, but we need water. We've only got a quarter tank, and it's pretty crucial that this thing's running, so I'm going to try it anyway. Just plumbed it all up now, and hopefully it works. The boost pump is just giving the high pressure pump a bit more raw water or salt water, so that it can pressurize it through the membranes and make water. We're going to Malaysia soon, so we can get a new pump there, so I just need this to work for about 6 weeks. Okay, test the boost pump. Stop. We had a bit of a late night last night, and the old brain isn't firing on all cylinders. We just went to test the boost pump, and I've plumbed it in the wrong way. It's trying to feed water out of the water maker instead of into it. So we'll have to switch it around. Amateur hour.
Yep, amateur hour alright, especially with a big fat arrow on the top of the pump indicating the flow direction. Goes to show that a hangover will even trump 4 years at university and 12 years as a chief engineer on super yachts. But anyway, I eventually got it plumbed the right way around, but I wasn't too confident in this pump and was getting a little nervous because it would be an absolute disaster if we couldn't get the water maker running, and the nearest marina here in Indonesia is 1,000 miles in the opposite direction.
Okay, test it. What's the pressure going up to?
5.
Okay, it's running for a second, but then it trips this breaker here. It must only be a 10 amp breaker or something, and the pump's 13 amps. So I'm going to bypass the switch here because there's actually a switch right on the pump. So I'll hot wire this and then we can just use the pump on the motor. Again, this is just to get us to Malaysia. Okay, so I've bypassed the breaker so we can use this switch here now to start it.
Don't worry, I already have a 15 amp fuse before the pump, so the wiring is still protected.
Okay, the pump just started making a crazy sound. You think they were serious when they wrote on it, do not use for water. Our system is all below the waterline, so I'm wondering if the system will actually work without the boost pump. Boost pump makes sense if the system is above the waterline and needs to be fed pressure, but this is gravity fed.
So running it with no boost pump had mixed results, which I'll explain later. But this is one of the downsides to cruising in such remote locations, where we can't just go to a chandlery to pick up a new pump. And not getting the system working would mean that we would have to buy drinking water and basically shower with salt water, which isn't the end of the world, but you know, some of us are in our 40s now. Damn, need a few creature comforts, like a freshwater rinse before jumping into bed. We really needed this thing fixed, so we ripped everything out of our forepeak to see what else we had on board, and Jamie managed to find an old fresh water pump that might just work.
Okay, we've just had a better look in the bottom of the bilge, and we've actually found a spare water pump for the boat. It's a Parmax 4 Jabsco pump, and I think it could be perfect. We're just going to plumb it in. It delivers 20 litres per minute, so a fair bit more power than the old pump. Those little ones are brushless and just use so much less power. And I think it's just going to supply salt water to the high pressure pump nicely. So we're just fitting it in here loosely now, and we'll go to a test run. Okay, so it's plumbed in now. We ran it yesterday without any boost pump, and it was running and it was making water, but every now and then you could hear the high pressure pump sort of skip a beat because it was wanting more water. But I think if we were desperate, we could run it without a boost pump. So we're going to test this now. What we want to see is just some positive pressure before going into the high pressure pump, and then we'll ramp it up to 800 psi, and yeah, hopefully as long as there's still pressure before the high pressure pump, it means it's getting supplied water nicely. So that's what we want to see. Let's fire it up. Good for the man. Okay, go high pressure pump. Okay, so we're seeing heaps of boost pressure. It's pulsing a little bit, but it's never going down to zero. So if we pressurize the high pressure pump, it's working. Successfully jury-rigged the Jabsco pump into the system to have boost pressure. You see the pressure pulsing like that is because the water pump has a pressure stat in it. So when it hits 40 psi, it shuts off. So it supplies water, shuts off, supplies water, shuts off. So that's why you can see the gauge doing that. But it never goes near zero, so it's always got positive pressure, and it's producing over 40 gallons per hour. We literally had to shower out of buckets last night because we're about to run out of water completely. So just in time, we're going to be able to make water today. And it looks like it's sunny, so we can do it off solar power. That's all I have to say about that. Job well done.
So with the water maker up and running, we celebrated with a surf and ended up sharing the anchorage with a bunch of charter boats and made friends with a few Brazilians who ended up interviewing me on their own YouTube channel.
So there's this boat behind us here. It's the Sibon Baru. It's quite a famous surf charter boat around here. Like, a lot of the pros go on it because it's one of the nicer ones. But right now there's 12 Brazilians on there, and they swam over to Parlay and came on board and interviewed me. So they said they could repay the favor and let us film their boat. So we'll go see what one of these charter boats is like. I've never actually been on a proper surf charter boat, I don't think. What's up, man? How are you? This is your boat?
Hey, how are you?
How's it going, Colin?
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
Sure, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, kitchen hands and chef.
Hey guys, working hard? Okay.
It smells good.
Yeah. This is Bal, he's one of the owners. How many owners are there?
We have 4 people,
Four guys.
2 boats.
How long have you been a part of this program?
Since 2016.
And how long are the trips?
12 nights.
And you got 12 Brazilians on here now.
Right now, yeah.
So it's a big party every night. Yeah. I heard they were dancing last night.
I was just making videos. I can't dance because I need to.
I heard he was on the pole dance last night.
Come on, Colin. I think we were friends. Eh? What's happened?
You've had some famous surfers on here.
Yeah, Felipe Toledo.
So how have you seen the Mentawai scene change over the last 9 years?
A lot of change.
A lot more boats?
Yeah, not too much boats, but a lot of more like accommodations.
More resorts, probably.
Yeah, it's something that we can't stop. What's coming, and it's happens everywhere. I feel like the surf has this power, so I prefer to like to just be thankful about everything, you know, like that we are still having.
So most of these charter boats out here charge around 400 US bucks a night, so definitely not cheap, and you're in pretty tight quarters with all of your mates. Just another reason we are so grateful to be here on our own boat.
So wanna go see upstairs?
Yeah, please.
That's a surf, Colin. It's kind of small.
Crowded.
This is my 15th trip.
Your 15th trip this year. Good visibility from up here.
Yes, yeah.
Super high.
Yeah. We have a local captain. We have to by the law.
And the crew sleep here?
The crew, yeah.
Always ready to go?
Yeah.
So you're the engineer on board? So you're fixing the engines? How many horsepower are you? 250. 250 horsepower. What kind of engine?
Mitsubishi.
Mitsubishi?
Mitsubishi double.
Double Mitsubishi. Okay.
Oh, what? We need one of those.
Yeah, this boat make your dreams your reality.
That's so crazy.
That's crazy.
Where's your one?
No, I don't. only small scratch.
So if people want to book a charter, where do they go to your Instagram or?
We have a website as well, which is like siboncharters.com. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the tour.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
So the next morning we picked up anchor to head back to town to do a final provision before setting sail to Malaysia, about 1,000 nautical miles away. But it wasn't too long before we heard a sound which was becoming a little unfamiliar around this part of the world.
Beautiful thing. Look at that thing.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
That's what it's called, a perfect dolphin.
I've seen worse.
What the hell, Sean? What are you doing? No!
We haven't caught many fish in the Meds. There's not that many fish around, so it's the first one we got in a while. Whoa. And we nearly didn't.
So Chris, he's on actually one of those charter boats. He's been spearfishing for ages and he's been trying to get a good fish on the spear forever. And we're gonna play a little joke on him and pretend that we shot this thing off the back of the boat.
Well, we had a good laugh winding Chris up, but karma may have kicked in as the sea started to get rough and we got hit with almost 30 knots right on the nose.
Ain't no better weather to be doing a fish fry with some hot oil. Only 28 knots out there. Oh boy. But this is the fish we caught. By we, I mean Jamie. And we're gonna make some fish tacos. Yeah.
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 And the last bit of our fresh veg.
Oh.
Well, the girls managed to pull off a delicious meal during the storm, but the weather had cleared up nicely in the morning. And we even managed to get the spinnaker up, which we hadn't done for a while. It actually reminded me of our test sail with Ferdinand, where we managed to sail at apparent wind speed under kite power, which we were also achieving right now under the spinnaker.
So just as a comparison, we happen to be sailing right now with our spinnaker up and we're doing just over 4 knots in around 4 knots of apparent wind. It's not really comparing apples with apples because Parlay weighs about 16 tons, maybe closer to 18 by the time you add up all the stuff we've added to it. And this spinnaker is about 150, I think it's 150 or 146 square meters. So the kiting company comparatively would say that that is the same as a 15-meter kite. So when we did the test on Ferdinand's boat, we were flying an 11-meter kite and doing roughly, I think it was like 3.5 knots and about 3.5 knots apparent. So the concept is there. He needs more wind to be able to do the autopilot function, where technically you can just have that kite doing a figure of 8 on its own, and you can just sit back, have a coffee, and watch your boat sail downwind.
I really do hope we get to see Ferdinand's kite in action under auto mode one day, as that would be really impressive. Especially if he was able to sail at apparent wind speed while sitting back with his feet up and coffee in hand like he hopes. Anyway, we arrived at the anchorage to say goodbye to my good friend Christian, who was heading back to Costa Rica, and I was going to miss him because he's such an awesome, positive crew member to have around the boat.
Yes, the time has come, unfortunately, for me. Wow, it's the best surf trip that I ever done. This place is incredible. The water is as clean as it gets. Super stoked, great wave, great company, good food, too many beers. But yeah, it's amazing to be able to be here and perform and catch amazing wave, good tubes. You know, when you get blow out by a wave like that, it's like time stop. On the video look like 2 or 3 seconds, but for me it's just like if I arrive to another universe. It's so good, so peaceful, and yeah, I'm very addicted to that feeling. So for me to be here is just like the most peaceful I've been, the more clear I've been. I'm very, very grateful that I'm able to do this for the 3rd time, and for sure it's not gonna be the last one. Thanks for
Ciao,
everything.
Sugar Monster.
Thanks for everything, man. That was super fun.
You too, brother.
So off he went to catch his 5 flights and a ferry to get home, as the rest of us got busy provisioning for our own big trip up to Malaysia. We weren't too sure when the next time we were going to see a supermarket was, as everything is so remote from here on out, so we stocked up as much as we could, but even here it was pretty hard to find what we needed.
It's pretty scarce out here, 80 miles from the nearest actual city. But we're trying to provision now in 3 supermarkets that don't have very much stuff, but for like 6 to 8 weeks for 8 people. So it's very hard to find everything. You've got to go to each supermarket just to try and find everything, but we're trying not to empty out all the shelves, so then the locals don't get anything either.
After here we're going even more remote. North of here there's really nothing. Padang is the last place that these sort of towns provision from. And so we're stocking up. Just slowly making our way towards Malaysia. I think we've just locked in a yard period at Rebuk Island Marina. It sounds like a really cool place to go. There's like a resort that we can use, go for a swim after work. We can haul the boat out there. So yeah, slowly making our way there. Still haven't decided if we're gonna go to South Africa or through the Red Sea and up into the Mediterranean. We're thinking about it, but we're not making a decision yet because so much can happen in the Red Sea, Middle East area between now and then. So just taking it week by week at the moment and loving life.
We've actually been in this area for a few months now, but if we stay any longer, the low season winds will make it extremely hard to get to Malaysia. And to be honest, we've probably already left it a little late to be leaving as we milked out the end of the surf season. So we knew the next few weeks were going to be tough against the swinging trade winds.
We are leaving. We have 1,000 miles to go.
All right, guys, so we're back on the move. It's going to be Sunny's first night passage. And it's pretty sporty out here. It feels nice to finally be on the move again and to kind of explore some of the other islands up here in Sumatra. How's it working out?
It's going alright. It's a little bit rough. Haven't done one for a few days, so I'm trying to get one in. Yeah, it's good to be back on the move. We haven't been on the move for a while, so new territory.
We're sailing!
We were off to a good start, but we could see a lot of squalls in the distance. The low season definitely felt like it was upon us already, and the winds had swung to the north as we were trying to go north, which is far from ideal. Little fun fact, when describing the wind, you say where the wind is coming from, but when describing the current, you say where the current is going to. Anyway, little did we know that it was only going to get worse and worse on this passage, and some of the crew were already feeling the effects straight out of the gate as we pounded our way into the wind.
Do I look frazzled yet? Back at it!
Excited to be on the move?
Honestly, yeah. Yeah. But your body's not used to it yet. Woo! There's been a couple of squalls which have been setting us a little bit off route, but that's alright. We'll get there eventually. It'll be good.
We ended up getting hit with squall after squall, and one hit us so hard that it snapped the lazy deck lines on our sail bag. None of us were going to go up the mast to fix it in these conditions. And I also couldn't really bring the sail down with the bag half broken, so we motored ahead towards what I thought looked like a safe anchorage in these high winds.
Oh man, we just got smashed by a squall. Yeah, just over 30 knots. So we've just run for cover. We found this beautiful protected bay. It's like crazy out there, and here it's just dead flat. I gotta fix the lazy jacks. The line's snapped again. The sail was flogging around so much that it just broke the line.
So much fun!
Wind's like swirling around in here.
Poor dogs, they're not very happy about this weather.
They're not. Aww.
Luckily it was a quick fix, as Jamie re-ran the LazyJack lines and we got our sail bag all sorted again. The LazyJack lines hold the sail bag up and allow the sail to stack nicely in the bag when lowering the mainsail, so they are definitely useful to have, and we will be looking to upgrade these lines to Dyneema once we get to Malaysia. As mentioned, the weather was already starting to turn on us, so we had to continue north before things got really out of hand.
God, it's tough out here, guys.
We were still beating into it obviously, but it wasn't anything that the boat couldn't handle, or so we thought. As we were sailing along, the cover of our Genoa sheet completely snapped, but luckily the Dyneema core was still intact. But with the cover snapped, it jammed up the clutch under load, so we rigged up a temporary line to take the weight of the Genoa and then ran a new line to replace the snapped sheet. We eventually got back on track and were actually making pretty good ground, but they say things happen in threes, and that third thing came in the form of our fridge drawers slamming in the waves.
Lost our fridge handles, the spring's gone in it. Keeps coming open and we're in really rough seas, so you're gonna have to jerry rig it.
This is my job actually. Sit up the fridge.
These girls have been down here for 10 minutes looking at how to do it. Everyone's on a diet. There we go.
Sad day.
It doesn't do it like when we're at anchor, it's just because it's real rough seas, and since we haven't really been sailing for a while, we didn't really notice it until we're out here. She's sorted.
How's the day been?
Shit. And it still is, and the night's probably going to be worse.
Luckily the weather didn't get any worse, but it didn't get any better either, as we bashed our way upwind for another 24 hours. We hate sailing upwind if we can avoid it, as the boat just slams and doesn't really ride as nicely as a monohull would in these conditions. Everything feels like it powered up to the max, and the difference between sailing upwind and downwind in these conditions is night and day. If we were sailing south right now, we would be doing a cruisy 7 to 8 knots with the wind and swell, with the boat not slamming one bit, as opposed to us motor sailing right now, struggling to even do 5 knots. We can also only really point 45 degrees to the apparent wind, which is more like 55 degrees to the true wind, so it's really hard to tack our way upwind at a good angle. We finally made it to the Talos Islands, absolutely exhausted from lack of sleep as we motored through the islands just in time to celebrate another birthday, although 16 years my junior.
Happy birthday to you.
What's birthday girl doing?
Jamie got me a really nice birthday present, and I'm really so grateful for him. The line is tangled. You know what, I was actually just reflecting on life, being like, what am I doing? Why am I here untangling this? I should be drinking a wine!
We had been in contact with a surf resort in the area who had invited us to celebrate Sunny's birthday there, whose guests seemed excited about the idea of a few females turning up, as they hadn't seen a lady out there for weeks.
There's about 25 guys there, not a single woman. And you're gonna have a happy birthday.
Not to mention they're all our dad's age.
They're all over the age of 50. Not kidding.
It ended up being an amazing night at Latitude Zero Resort, and they went the extra mile to make Sunny feel special on her big day. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode, but our luck doesn't get any better as we find diesel bug in our fuel next week.
Oh shit. See that?